Hello collectors, welcome to the latest episode of the unboxing experience. I'm Joe Prodzik, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Tali statue from Gaming Heads. Now Tali is a character from the popular video game series Mass Effect, which just happens to be one of my favorite video game series of all time. I love Mass Effect series. I often used Tali as a part of my party within the game. So I'm really looking forward to this statue. I already have Garrus from Gaming Heads, as well as Liara. I got Thane on pre-order and Morden coming up in a couple of months. So I'm planning on picking up all these statues from Gaming Heads. So now let's first take a look at the art box. Now this box is a little bit smaller than Garrus and Liara was. I'm sure that has a lot to do with Tali's skinny stature, her thin stature, and so that makes the statue thin as well. So very similar to the art boxes in the rest of the series. And I am really looking forward to getting this opened up. I've been anticipating this for a long time. She's been delayed probably about a year. I think she was supposed to come out December of last year. So it's been quite a wait for the statue, but as long as she is good, I'm gonna be happy to wait for a long time. Now, during my last unboxing, I talked a little bit about some of the protection that companies give to their statues. One of those things that I mentioned was when companies put foam at the corners. For my last unboxing of the Green Goblin, the foam was polystyrene and it broke apart during shipping. So now I have a bunch of broken foam pieces that can't really go for the corners unless I tape them up. Well, Gaming Heads is a little bit differently because they don't use polystyrene, they use something else. I don't know what the material is called, but it's a little bit softer and it's not going to break apart and bust apart. So when this thing is sitting in the box and it's got these at the corners, it's going to create that barrier between the art box and the shipper, which I really like. Gaming Heads was the first company to do that from statues that I received, and I've appreciated it ever since. So hats off to Gaming Heads for the good packaging. Now this is the exclusive version of Tali, so she's going to have some extra pieces. This one is limited to 500 pieces. It was a little bit more on the regular edition. So this exclusive edition comes with an extra weapon. It comes with a swappable scorpion pistol. Now similar to Garrus and Liara, she comes with some extra weapons, which is really cool because in Mass Effect, especially Mass Effect 3, you had an option of giving your companions so many different weapons. This was the weapon I tended to give her. Rather than effect, I usually went for which weapon looks best for which character, and I always like to Tali with this pistol anyway. I'm really looking forward to this statue, so let's get this box open and see what Tali's all about. So before I get Tali out of the box, there's a couple of nice touches that Gaming Heads adds to their packaging. As you can see here, hopefully it's showing up on the video. You got a nice etching of Tali here on the styrofoam. And the other side of the box has Tali, the Mass Effect logo, and then this has the registration card. Now, what this registration card does is it allows you to register your piece on the Gaming Heads website. That means you'll get the same number every time you get a similar statue in the same line. So this Tali statue should be the same number as my Garrus and as my Liara statues and any Mass Effect statues I get in the future, as long as I continue to register them. Now, is that really a big deal? If I had a number like, say I had number 100 or 150 or something even or something cool, it might make a difference to me, but I have like 274 or something like that, so it's kind of an odd number. It is cool to have the same number, but when it's a weird number that just doesn't really add anything to it, then it just doesn't make too big of a difference. But it is a nice little touch. I do like getting the little cards for the statue as well. It doesn't have a certificate of authenticity, instead it has this little credit card looking thing with the character on it. Still really cool, and I do like that about Gaming Heads. So I've got my tools of the trade here. My handy makeup brush to brush away any stray foam, and then a razor blade to cut away the tape, and then my little 12-inch Lazy Susan to spin the statue around. Now, it's a little tip I learned from watching an unboxing over at First for Figures, was instead of cutting all the way around the statue like I usually do, just make a vertical slice on one side and just pull all the tape off. Leaves it really clean and leaves no tape on the edges here, so if you do have to rebox it, it's just easier to tape it back up. Alright, so I got it right. She is face up, so Mass Effect logo is face up for the statue. And you can see Tali here comes in a couple of pieces. We got the body, a couple of pistols, and the base. So let's start with the base here. Now on Garrus and Liara, the bases were pretty unremarkable. They were good, they were okay, but they were pretty unremarkable. And this one is very similar to that. The only difference is it does kind of relate to Tali's armor and gives a nice effect there. So yeah, I got number 254. Means my Garrus and my Liara will be 254. My Morden, my Thane, and the other statues coming up should have the same number. So 254 out of 500 for the exclusive. Yeah, you're gonna get simple bases with these Mass Effect statues. But I do like that the base is tied into the character. Okay, we got one pistol there. And another pistol here. Okay, now here is Liara, all in one piece. And there she goes. Let's put her standard pistol there. Alright. So there is Tali from Gaming Heads, the third statue in their Mass Effect line. Now, initial impressions is she's pretty good. She's pretty good. In line with the quality of Garrus. I was a little bit disappointed in the paint with Liara, but this looks to be a little bit better. So she does have nice details in her uniform. See the details here match what's on the base. The paint is good. It is sort of a dull paint, not glossy, very like a matte style paint. She does have a lot of texture in her uniform, a lot of different textures in her uniform. She's more smooth in the legs, get some texture here. As you go up the thigh, more texture here, completely different texture here. So this statue is full of textures. And it's done pretty good. I thought on Liara, they kind of lost the texture by the heavy-handedness of the paint. And I'm not seeing that here at all with Tali. So yeah, I am really digging the statue. It's in line with the quality of the Garrus and Liara statues also from Gaming Heads. So it's really good. The paint is done nicely on her visor. You see the paint is, it's pretty good. Mostly in the lines, not perfect, but really good. I would have been really concerned about these details in her uniform. And, the scroll work. Yeah, the scroll work is okay. It's not fantastic. You are going to notice some errors, some kind of sections where it's a little bit more faded, like in the recesses where it's supposed to be like a white color. It's not quite white. It gets a little lost, like they missed some of the detail in there. That kind of detail is really hard to do though. But yeah, it's not perfect. Some of the coloring, still has a little bit of that heavy-handedness in the paint. It's not bad, but it's not top level either. So it's really good. Yeah, really happy with it. So let's switch out the pistol. I think I like this one better. This is a nicely painted. And that's probably the look that I'm gonna go for. So at $340, it's a good quality statue. I opened up another statue just a couple of days ago that was $520, and at almost $200 more expensive. I wouldn't say it's really that much better than this statue. So just for a comparison, it's hard to compare two different statues from two different lines, but I'd say they're very similar quality. The other one had a bigger base, had much more statue to it, so it's going to be $200. This is a very reasonably priced statue. You're going to get your money's worth. Definitely, I think good value. $340 for a statue these days. I think that's just great. So I'm going to keep buying these Mass Effect statues. I can buy 2 Mass Effect statues for what I would pay from other companies out there, maybe even 3 for some quarter scale statues. So Tali is going to look good with the other statues in the Mass Effect line. And I got the Shepard from that other company. I got a Garrus, and I have Tali. And she's right in line with that. $340, you can't go wrong with this Liara statue. One thing to point out with gaming heads is that their exclusives do cost like $10-20 more expensive than the regular editions. So you do pay a little bit extra money for the exclusive gun, but the difference between $340 and $320, I would always go for the exclusive. It would have been a nice touch. Maybe asking a little bit too much for her to have a maskless portrait. But honestly, I never unmasked her during the game. I was never I never had a love affair with her. My Shepard didn't. I always went for either Ashley or Miranda in those games. I never really got to the point where she's actually unmasked. So still a little bit of mystery to her for me because I never did that. I only saw it on YouTube or whatnot, but that could have been a nice touch, but it would have been a little bit hard to do, especially with her her headdress the way it is. It would be hard to do an unmasked portrait for her. Something that could have been done, maybe the visor could have been magnetic and you could have had an unmasked portrait. Or, to take the statue up another notch, you would have done maybe like a see-through visor here where you can see the shadow of her face, but that kind of thing would increase the price of the statue, $400 or $500 to do something crazy like that. When I don't think it was completely necessary. A necessary component of the character. I do like the sculpt overall. She's got a nice figure. The boots are great. Likeness to the character is outstanding. There's no facial sculpt to get right, so you're just getting the sculpt of the character and the mask, so it's a little bit easier to do, and I think Gaming Heads did a great job. So thanks for joining me on this latest episode of the unboxing experience. I'll be doing a full review of Tali with close-up videos in a couple of weeks, and I'll give my full rating and breakdown of the sculpt, the paint, the quality, everything you can think of. I like to spend a couple of weeks with my statue taking pictures of it, taking video of it, and that helps me evaluate it a little bit more. Helps me have that new excitement for the statue die down a little bit. So I'll be working on that review. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all of my latest unboxings, statue reviews, updates to my collection. Every 2 weeks, I have a show called Statue Talk, where a friend of mine, Kwong, we sit around and talk about the latest previews, pre-orders, updates to our collection, all that good stuff. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now, thanks again for joining me, the latest episode of the unboxing experience. Remember, statue collecting is more than just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. This has been Joe Prodzik. Thanks for watching.